Hey everyone, it's Christine with Indigo Healing. I'm here to do the weekly Twin Flame reading. I have a few things I'm going to go over before I get into the reading. The first thing I'm going to point out, I'm not being flaky. I have new glasses and they are bifocals and I am getting used to them still. And it's a little, if you've ever had bifocals, they're a little trippy. And so I'm still getting used to them. And so the going back and forth, it's a little blurry and just like kind of weird. So I'm trying to get used to this. So let's see, I'm going to get into all my stuff that I want to go over with you guys before I get into the reading. So just the basic stuff. I prayed over the cards before I laid out the spread, and I asked for messages for the collective. If the message does not resonate with you, that's okay. It's just not the message for you. I talk about masculine and feminine energies, but understand that females can have a masculine energy. So everything that I'm talking about, I'm going to be talking about it feminine and masculine, but this can pertain to same-sex couples, or sometimes the masculine energy can be in the female, or the feminine energy could be in the male. My website is indigowingshealing.com. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/indigowingshealing. And let's see, I have a Facebook group. It's very small right now. It's Indigo Wings Soul Connections. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel so you are made aware every time I upload a new video. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. And then of course I would love to hear your comments below as well. So this week's reading is going to be from March 6th through the 12th. And yes, I have a notebook of notes because there's going to be some things I'm going to talk to you about because we just started Venus retrograde. And as you guys have heard me talk about before, I am not an astrologer. I don't pretend to be an astrologer, but I do follow events that are significant. This is a significant event. So I have a few things that I wrote down that I wanted to share with you that will be affecting us over the next several weeks. So let's see. Okay, so this reading, March 6th through the 12th, we have a full moon taking place on March 12th. Venus retrograde is started yesterday, March 4th. I may have said started today, sorry. Started yesterday, March 4th, and goes through April 15th, but it will be in its shadow period through May 18th. And what I have decided I'm going to do, because I'm going to go through and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Venus retrograde. Venus retrograde is all about relationship work, and I'm expecting that my readings for this time period for twins might look different than what they were before Venus went retrograde. And so, as I was going through this, I decided that I'm going to offer a special reading for Venus retrograde. It's going to be exactly like the reading that I do in my weekly videos. 3 cards on each side for the masculine and the feminine, crowning, grounding energies, and underlying energies for each side as well. It's going to be $60, and so it's for twin flames, and it's going to cover the Venus retrograde period. I'm only going to offer this, I haven't decided the exact time frame. Probably for at least 3 to 4 weeks, since it does go through, the shadow period does go through May 18th. But this won't be a long-term offering because this is only, it's only in retrograde for about 6 weeks. But, I am expecting things to look different than what a typical twin flame reading would look like. And typically the twin flame readings that I do are a little bit, longer term. So the regular twin flame readings are $70, 4 cards on each side. That's the difference. So if you're interested in this special offer, the information has been put up on my website, so you can go up on my website already and order that. I don't have a description up there yet. I just wanted to get the button up there for you if you wanted to go the route and see, what is coming up for you during this time period. So, the other thing that I am doing special this week, all orders placed this week, I am placing into a raffle to win a amethyst cluster and some free essential oil blends. It's only good for people who live in the United States, so I'm sorry for those of you who don't live in the United States. But so anybody who lives in the US, if you order this week through the 12th, I'm going to put everybody in a raffle. I'm going to draw somebody next week to win that free prize. So I feel like that's kind of fun. Okay, so Venus retrograde. Venus retrograde is a time for, it's time for relationship work. This is a time where we can work to create healthy or healthier relationships. How? It's going to be up to you. It's going to be, we all have free will choices, so, it's going to depend on what you do with this. This is a period where you can focus on weeding out toxic connections and really focus on what your own needs are. This is a time where we're going to be reassessing who and what we value. A couple of things. Venus retrograde is not the best time to get married or start a new relationship. However, it is a good time for rethinking personal relationships. And this goes for any personal relationships. This is not just romantic-based relationships. This can go for friendships and business relationships and things like that as well. Past lovers may come back into your life, and current relationships may come to an end. People will recognize whether or not they are with partners who truly fulfill them. So there's going to be a lot of reflection and thinking about these things. Relationships that have been especially challenging may end during this Venus retrograde cycle. If you have been hoping to fix a relationship, or if you've been hoping for a reunion, now may not be the best time for that. I don't want anybody to take that in a negative way. It just means that this is a good time for you to do some more digging, some soul searching, and really evaluate what your beliefs are and what is serving you. This is going to be a really good time to weed out the things that are not serving you, especially in relationships. So, that was a lot of stuff. So if you're still with me, thank you. I'm going to get started with the reading now. And I feel like this is a really interesting reading based on being the beginning of Venus retrograde. So I'm going to start, I feel like I always start with the feminine, and I'm going to just go with that. I'm going to keep with starting with the feminine. The card that comes up for the feminine is Teach. And, I really got for the feminine energy that this had to do with the masculine. And potentially it may have to do with other relationships. But I felt like this had to do with the masculine, that she may be able to give some insight to things that maybe he's going through, maybe give him insight to what she's going through, but like give some perspective. This is also, the Teach card, you can't, it's like a card of duality where, with teaching comes learning. And I also feel like a lot of the feminine are going to be really taking a look at their relationships that they have with teachers and mentors that they have. And they're going to be reflecting on whether or not those people are a benefit to them anymore, or really serving them. I feel like the feminine are going to be, really diving in and taking a look at their beliefs and how they relate to relationships. And, I pulled up some clarifier cards. And, it's interesting because, well, I'll go into it when I get to the masculine, but, I get the 7 of Water with the feminine, and this is about the need to make a decision, and it's about needing to make a decision that's not straightforward. This is, it's a complex decision, and it's something that the feminine's been dragging their feet on, and it has to do with living in your truth and being authentic. It also has to do with the other card I pulled up is the Knight of Water, and so I feel like this has to do with balancing your emotions, because the Knight of Water is an energy that really sweeps you off your feet. And with this Venus energy, and if there's interaction with your twin, that can happen very easily. And the other card that came up here is the 8 of Fire. And this is a card of many things happening at once, events moving at a fast pace. And I do feel like there's going to be a lot of, it's going to feel like to the feminine, especially once we get out of this retrograde period, there's going to be a lot of action. And I'm not even saying necessarily with the masculine, but I feel like the feminine, there's going to be a lot of action moving forward in your own growth and, on your own projects, because just more and more and more you are feeling this desire and this need to live in your authentic truth with or without your masculine. with or without your twin. And things are going to be happening for you, and you are just going to hit the road and go. But that's what I'm getting here. With the, and the teacher, or the teach card, is a 5. Over on the masculine side, his card is change your focus, which is also a 5. So with this card, I'm feeling like there's going to be some sort of, whether it's a conversation or some sort of connection, whether it's in the 5D, his higher self, there's going to be something that is sparked between these two that is going to make him realize that he's been focusing on the wrong thing. That he needs to, he literally needs to change his perspective, change how he's looking at things. And, he's got to open himself up to a different way of how things can be. Because I do feel like many of the masculine twins have, even though they're going through this awakening, there's still a lot of them that are refusing to see what's going on, or have been refusing to see what's going on, or they're still fighting it. And, there's going to keep being a push until they do the things that they have to do. So the additional cards that I got here, I got the King of Water, and this card for me is about opening your heart and heartfelt advice, and that's I'm feeling that connection between him and the feminine. He's opening his heart, letting her in, and there was something that was said, something that was exchanged. And again, whether it was an actual verbal conversation, text, email, or whether it was between an energy exchange, something sparked. And, it's opening his heart, and he's realizing there needs to be a change. And the other card that I pulled up here is the Justice card. So, this card is about, doing what you believe is right, standing up for your beliefs. And so it's, kind of having to sit and do some reflection, like, okay, what is it that I truly believe in here? What is it that I really want? So it's, going back to that, the Venus retrograde energy, what that brings to people, that reflection, am I being fulfilled? Is this working for me? What do I want? What are my beliefs? And, and then the Two of Air. So, he's going to be going through these thoughts and this process, but he's still going to be in this energy of not ready to make a decision, or feeling stuck, feeling like he can't make a decision. But it's, they're both in this energy of the 5 energy of the changes and the transitions. So, there's still that energy of things are changing for both. So for the feminine, the next card for her is Master. Oh, and you know what I wanted to say? One thing I wanted to say before I go into this, with the feminine's card, with the Teach, you know, like a mantra that the feminine can go by, which I think is really beautiful, and I wrote it down. In matters of the heart, I offer what I know, I learn what I don't, and I stay true to myself. And I feel like that goes along really well with the energy of that card. So if that's something that resonates with some of you, write that down, or, just remember that and keep that with you. Sorry, I totally forgot to mention that. So Master, this is a card where, I feel like the feminine is kind of moving into a place where, stuff is coming up where, she's being reminded of times where she has felt hurt, betrayed, wanting to put that wall up around her heart so that she doesn't go through those things again. And it's almost like, for some of you, you might be feeling like you're trapped, like you don't know how to get out of this cycle of, you feel better and you think you heal, but then you get back into this place of feeling like you want to keep someone out. You feel like you want to keep them at arm's length so that they can't hurt you again. And, you have to remember that, the idea of being trapped is an illusion. You are not trapped. You have choices. And, that's not always an easy thing to hear. But, you don't want to build that wall up around your heart, because that's going to push you further away from the people that you actually want to be closer to. And, that's a defense mechanism. That's what people want. It's normal to want to do that. You don't want to feel that pain again. But it's better to feel the pain and release it and heal it than it is to wall your heart off. And the additional cards that I pulled up here, and it's really, I kind of like love when the cards come up like this. It's the Two of Earth, and this is a card about there's just too much going on. There's a need to make a decision. So, you've got another card about, a decision needs to be made. You need to choose where you're going, what you're doing. But this is a card of it's weighing on you, and it's causing you stress. And so it's, which is it that's causing you stress? Is it that you haven't made the decision? Is it that it's weighing on you that you either, that you have to choose, or that do you know what you want to choose and you're dragging your feet, but this is about the fact that you haven't made a decision. It's too much for you. And you're being encouraged that you need to make the decision. Now, the other card that I pulled up here, I feel like is really powerful with what's going on in regards to this reading and what I was just talking about. It's the Miriam. And so the Miriam, these are twin flame angels, and I'm trying to remember what the story is. They appeared to somebody in the tomb of Jesus when he died, and I have to look it up. waste the time in the reading looking it up, but these twin flame angels, they are all about, they're about choosing to forgive. So it's interesting, like we have the idea of choice coming up again. But it's about choosing to forgive in order to heal. And remembering that love has no boundaries. So I feel like that's also interesting that, I'm talking about those who are wanting to put a wall up around their hearts so that they can't be hurt. And then this card is saying, with love, there are no boundaries. You can't put a wall up around your heart. You can't. You can try, but you can't. So for some of you, many of you, I think, what is it that you need to forgive? Who is it that you need to forgive? It may not be your twin. That is a possibility. It might be a karmic relationship, something with that is preventing you from healing and moving forward with your twin. Because it might be something that your twin triggers you over and over and over again because you haven't healed it. Let's see. What was the other? Oh, but it could be something that has to do with your twin. What do you need to forgive? What still needs to be healed in you? If you're not sure, I really, really highly recommend meditating on it. And I don't recommend doing a guided meditation. Like, I would recommend doing like a 5 or 10 minute meditation in the quiet by yourself. And if you're having a hard time keeping thoughts out of your head, count your breaths. Breathe really, really slow and count your breaths. You'll be so surprised at what comes to you. I had one of my first major breakthroughs that way. That was so healing for me. And, it was an issue that I had been taking out on people that I had nothing to do with. They just kept triggering me. So there's definitely a need still with the feminine for forgiveness and healing. I feel like that's going to be something that's really big. With the masculine, they have clarity of belief. It's a 1 for new beginnings. Some of what might be getting kicked off with the feminine wanting to build a wall up around them, some masculine might be retreating when they go into this clarity of belief stage. They might be needing some time by themselves, to figure things out. Some, they see the butterfly here, and the man has his hand on his heart, and it's like he's letting the butterfly go. There might be some masculine who are coming across like they are letting the feminine go. And it doesn't mean that they don't love the feminine or don't want to be with the feminine, but while they're trying to figure this out, they're trying to let her be free to do what she needs to do, which is really selfless. It's a really good thing because they know how crucial and essential the feminine twins are. And they don't want to bog them down with what they're going through. That's what I'm feeling that the masculine twins are thinking. But they are trying to figure out what it is. They're still in that place of, okay, what am I thinking? I need to figure this out. And so 2 of the cards that I pulled up here, the Knight of Earth, which is all about focusing and getting things done. and the King of Fire, which is another card of focus. And so I feel like this is something that the masculine twins are really going to be very serious about. I need to, whatever this is, I need to figure it out. You know, they might even be getting advice from some people. You know, I feel like some of the masculine have commitments and they're going to be feeling torn because one option, they feel like they may not be honoring commitments that they've made. You know, but they're definitely going to be focused on, I need to clarify what's going on with me. I need to figure out what it is that I believe in, what it is that I want to stand up for, what it is that I truly want. And the other card that I pulled up here is Master Katumi. And this card is all about, you already know the answer that you seek. You already know what you want, which I believe to be very, very true. I laughed when I pulled this card out because I believe this to be very true with the masculine, that they do know deep down, even those that are in denial, that they know what they want. They're just really struggling with this, what it looks like on the surface. You know, and like I said about that honoring your commitments, they're trying to figure out that balance and what that looks like, and that is preventing them from truly seeing what their intuition's telling them. But I think it's really interesting that, you know, both the masculine and feminine are still in this place of trying to figure things out, which I think is, again, it's reflective of this Venus retrograde. So, you know, and then again, the next card for the feminine, it's the solar plexus chakra, you know, which I'm really happy to see this card after the Master card. This card is all about, you know, it's about happiness and harmony, and, you know, to me, this is signaling that the feminine, you know, is moving back into a place of reclaiming her power and her confidence and her self-esteem. You know, and I feel like she did choose to do some of that releasing work and that forgiveness. You know, she figured it out. And the additional cards here that I pulled up, which I love, the Nine of Water. The Nine of Water is just it's just an awesome card. You know, this is just about your dreams are coming true and concerns are fading away. You know, so it's like, you know, I feel like whatever it is that you worked on with healing, forgiving, you know, it's bringing you into this place that you needed to be in, and it's helping you to move forward, and you're seeing how the work on yourself and the focusing on yourself and the moving forward, how it's really paying off for you. Because so much of this period is going to continue to be on focusing on you and your growth. And then the additional card that I pulled is the Ten of Fire. And I feel like this is just a caution, because when you're in this place, you know, this awesome, happy place where everything's going great, you can get bogged down, you can get overworked. So just be aware that you're not burning the candle at both ends, that you're asking for help when you need it, so that you're not moving into a place where you become overstressed and overworked, because that can be easy to do when things start to take off for you and you start moving into a really really good and happy place. There's like a happy medium. Make sure that you are still engaging in self-care and rest and doing the things that you need to do to recharge. Over on the masculine side, and so this is what I think is really cool. So you've got this card of the feminine, taking back her power and moving into this place of confidence and positivity. And then you've got, for the masculine, believe and succeed, a very similar type of energy. And I feel like with this card, it's like he sees the light at the end of the tunnel. He knows what direction he needs to turn in, and he can see the light, that he knows what he's got to do, and he's heading in that direction, and then it's gonna work out. And that's a really positive, solid energy. And I feel like, so this is the page of Earth, and the page of Earth, it has several different meanings, but one of the meanings that stands out to me, which I think is kind of funny, is that it's about a new area of study. And I feel more like this is like it's about going in a new direction. He's decided what way he wants to go, and there's a huge butterfly on this card. And so I feel like he's decided, like, I'm gonna transform my life. I'm gonna go in that direction. And then just a confirmation is the other card that comes up here is Strength, and it's an 11. And to me, some people don't agree, but to me, 11 is a twin flame number. And I feel like there is a reciprocity of the forgiveness and the compassion on both sides where it needs to be. And that, we know that the divine masculine is a very strong energy, and that they have great inner strength. And this is a confirmation that, they know that there is more work to do, and that they're committed with that inner strength that they have, that they know it's going to take some work to get there, but they're committed. They believe that they can go after the things that they want to go after. And then the next card that I pulled is Mary Magdalene, which I kind of think it's funny that this card, it's in the last spot on the masculine side, and it says Teacher Awakens, and on the first card on the feminine side it was the Teach card. But this card is, it's all about following your inner call and not letting anything stop you. And I really feel like that's another confirmation of this believe and succeed. When you have that energy and that drive, like to believe, you believe and you succeed, like nothing is going to stop you. So I love the confirmations there. So the crowning energy, where the feminine masculine are coming in together, is strengthening bonds. So 1, new beginnings. And I'm always happy when I see this card in the crowning energy position, or the energy where they're coming together, because whenever we're talking about any kind of relationship, but especially a divine partnership, you want to have strong bonds. You want to have a strong foundation, because without the strong foundation, as soon as you hit troubled waters, you're going to fall over. So, everything that you're going to be going through in this week is going to strengthen the bond between you. And that's what we want. We want that. The additional cards I pulled here, the Three of Fire, and I really love the imagery on this card because I feel like it goes along so well with the strengthening bonds. You've got this little girl and she's with her best friend who's a dragon, and he's just chilling with her. He's got her back. They're just sitting on a hill checking out the valley. Things are looking good, and they're just, they just have this bond that they're connected. But this is also a card of patience because they're just kind of sitting, chilling, taking in the view. So this is a time to be in that restful period, because remember how I said this is in Venus retrograde, this isn't a time for reunions, not necessarily a time for union. Just like, if you're in a good place, just be patient, just chill, just enjoy it. And it's also, you get the Queen of Fire, and the Queen of Fire, so even though you have these strengthening bonds, this is also a time for you to assert your independence. So this is a time for you, while you are, you're strengthening the bond that you have, but part of why that bond is strengthening is because individually you are both focusing on your own growth. And the more you focus on your own growth and you become one with yourself, and the more you come into union with yourself and you are not reliant on another person to fulfill you, you're not reliant on love from another person externally, that's what's going to bring you guys closer together. So, while, you're coming together, but this is definitely a time for you to also assert your independence and go after the opportunities that are being offered to you. Go for the things that are going well for you. And then the other card that I pulled up too is the Isis card. And so this is a confirmation that the things that you want are happening. It's all coming together. You just have to, you just gotta stay focused and be patient. So the grounding energy for this is dreams coming true. So just like what I said with the Isis card, everything's happening. Everything that you want is happening. Your dreams are coming true. The work that needs to be done, it's happening. It just because it's not happening on your timetable, and just because you might not be able to see everything with your eyes, doesn't mean that it's not happening. And this card's also a 9, so the end of a cycle, these are endings. So something, things may be ending during this time. Things that could be holding you back from coming into union may be ending. And I love this as one of the clarifiers I pulled up here, the King of Earth. This is just like, it's like another dreams coming true card, basically. This is like, everything's awesome. Everything you touch turns to gold. This is a dream, dreams coming true, and that's the underlying energy here. So like, this is like a good time. And then I kind of like squealed when I saw this card. I love this card. This is renewal. And so I feel like this is like another confirmation that like things are working out. There's this underlying energy of things working out and going the way they're supposed to. And I feel like this is like just this confirmation that this Venus retrograde energy is here and it's working, because this card, renewal, it's all about reviewing and evaluating. And I feel like for this particular situation, this is it's being evaluated in a way that is favorable, and it's working out in a way that is favorable. So the underlying energy for the feminine is find balance, which, you kind of see that throughout her whole reading, with the Knight of Water, making sure that you stay balanced with your emotions, not building that wall around your heart, enjoying life, but don't get overstressed. So you totally see the finding balance for the feminine. And I even, I didn't really need the clarifying card, but I pulled it just in case. And, I love it because it's such a perfect confirmation. It's the King of Air. And, this card is all about balancing mental and emotional considerations. And again, how perfect was this reading? It was, it's all about balancing the mental and the emotional for the feminine. And then the underlying energy for the masculine is nurture. And I really liked this because the way the placement of this card, this woman is facing the feminine energy, but more so the way it was placed, she's facing the strengthening bonds. So I feel like there's this definite desire, this underlying desire, masculine energy. They want to nurture this. They want to nurture this relationship. They want the foundation to be strong. They don't want this to just be something that's haphazardly thrown together. So there's definitely this desire of wanting to nurture this connection, which I think is that's always really nice to get that confirmation and to see that. And the clarifying card that I pulled here, there were a couple things I got with this. So it's the Moon. It's an 18, which breaks down to a 9. So, I definitely feel like with the masculine, there's going to be an underlying energy of, the end of cycles for him. I also feel like they're going to be listening to their intuition a little bit more. And I really think that as they continue to move forward, they're going to be working to release fears that are holding them back, because I really do feel that, where they're struggling with their clarity of belief, they know what they want, but I think it's really their fears. They're being held back by their fears. And, so their underlying energy that they're bringing to this, they're really trying to sort that out, and they're really trying to work on that. So I pulled an oracle card for this reading, and the oracle card is Mending. It's a 52, which breaks down to a 7, so spiritual path. And the relationship message for this card is you've come to a place where forgiveness is necessary if you're to move forward. Separate or together, you and the other person are still experiencing the effects of a hurt that is impacting everything you do, even if you're not aware of it. The energy needs to clear. What must you do to bridge this gap? Closing your heart is not the answer. You have the power to heal this wound. Ask yourself, what would love do? Only good will come of forgiveness and an honest redress. I feel like that is really perfect. to go with this reading, especially for the feminine, and I really did, I think I said something differently when I was shuffling the cards, and I think I said something about, give me a message for the people who will be watching this, and I don't know if I usually do that, and so I feel like this was really geared towards the feminine, because it does tend to be the feminine energies that watch these videos, let's be honest. So I feel like this was a really great reading. I'm pretty happy with this for how this next coming up week looks. Major healing and major, I think, evaluations of where you're at and moving forward. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to hear what you think about it. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, please visit my website, indigowingshealing.com. I'm going to have that Venus retrograde twin flame reading available. It's available right now on my website. It's $60. The regular twin flame reading is $70. And I do have a twin flame reading that is a separation reading. That's also $70. I also do other readings as well. Those are available through my website. Remember that any orders this week are going to be entered into a raffle to win an amethyst crystal cluster and some essential oil blends. But unfortunately, only those in the United States are eligible, so I'm sorry for those who do not live in the United States. And I think that's it. Check me out on Facebook, facebook.com/IndigoWingsHealing, and I also have a Facebook group, Indigo Wings Soul Connections. So until then, next week, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Have a great full moon. I'm going to try to check in sometime in the next few days with another video. So until then, have a great day.